Hey guys, today we're back in the workshop. I'm going to try to show you how you could revamp one of your old grips on an older rod that you probably don't like anymore, or it's boat trashed, or you plain and simply want a new grip. For example, this grip from an older rod of mine that I really use a lot. This is really torn and I really want to change it, and I want to show you how to do it the simple way. Why I want to show you how to do this is because it's a very simple and easy job to do for anyone, anywhere in the world. I'll show you the tips and tricks, but the tips and tricks are really in the grips I've made and built just to make them very easy to use with high quality components and parts. You just need the grips and some epoxy glue. Let's do it. First of all, I'll select whatever I need from the web shop, the online web shop, rod building shop. I'll choose whatever I need and I'll show you what new grip I'm going to make on that superb rod I really love, but I hate the grip on it. I've already chosen what I'm gonna build. So this is a 4-axis carbon monocoque. This is a 15mm ID winding check. Winding check, I'm not sure how to call it. Okay, this is the new Fuji reel seat. I really love these reel seats. These are by far my new favorite reel seats. Simple cork grip, of course, all of our cork grips are made out of extra great cork. I really love cork a lot. This is how the end grip will look like this, okay? Now we just have to measure it so it's the same length as the other grip. And let's make this happen. First step is to measure the grip so it's about the same length. Yeah, this is the exact length I wanted. By accident I measured the exact length I needed. The important thing is I have the exact same length for the grip. I'm not sure the front. Yeah, in the front it's exactly where it has to be. I'll actually mark the end of the grip so we don't make mistakes. This is the way to do it. Use paper, adhesive tape. I use Tessa. I don't know what you have in your country or region. And now we can remove this, the actual reel seat, and let's see how this grip looks like. So, do I get it? So it's going to come up a little bit more than the original grip because of the shape of the reel, but this shouldn't be a problem. I'll mark this spot as well. Let's check again. Yeah, it's exactly where it has to be. And now let's get stripping. What you need to know is you need a knife, preferably a blunt knife so you don't cut into the blank by accident. And I usually use a Dremel. This is battery powered. You can have a corded one, cordless one. It doesn't really matter. Because I'm using a monocoque a carbon monocoque to build the new grip on, I won't need the entire grip. Therefore, I'm not going to strip any more of this grip because I will probably cut it right behind the reel seat. It's just enough for me to rebuild this entire grip because the rest of this handle would be excess weight that I would anyway have to trim off because of the monocoque I'm gonna use. You will see later in this video. To remove the reel seat you will need the Dremel and a wider screwdriver, flat screwdriver. Be careful how you cut the reel seat off the rod so you don't touch the blank in the process. So you need to take it slowly and surely. I'm lucky this is maybe a Chinese plastic reel seat, a copy of some Shimano reel seat, and it's maybe easier to cut off than it would if I had any other reel seat from Fuji probably. Okay, see, it's already moving on the blank. Let me see how to get this part off. This is aluminium. It took me probably 10 minutes. Anyway, I'm gonna cut the blank right here behind the reel seat because I'm gonna use a monocoque. This part of the grip doesn't make sense to stay here because it's just added weight to your project. So don't worry, it's fixable. Bang, shebang, shebang. Ooh, 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 ooh. And this is what we are left with. For now, we put the rod aside and let's see how we will manage with the new handle. Just to check, double check, triple check, I'm gonna strip everything off the blank from here because we need to make this fit as snug as possible, and we have to go from the behind where the OD is larger than up here. So for this purpose we have to take off all the old arbors and build some new ones. Anyway, we will have to trim off a little bit more of the blank. I highly recommend you heat the old epoxy. I will also do it, but it's much harder for me to do for the purpose of this tutorial because I have to film everything and show you how I do it. Clean as a baby's butt, we can move forward to the next step. Let's see how much we have to rim out. So the hole, that's what we have to fit. Okay, for this purpose, I will use the reel seat, put this back on. You see that it fits perfectly right off the shelf. You will actually need some reamers for this purpose. This is the reamer, so it's like a conical piece of blank with sandpaper on it. Always rotate both the reamer and the cork. Go slowly so you don't take too much of the cork. I will actually use a reamer I made myself from a piece of blank, so I don't have to change or go through more than one reamer. Slowly, don't hurry, there's no need to. It will probably take about 1 to 2 minutes to do this job. I'm using the reel seat, so it's as centered as possible. It's not perfect, but it's as close as possible. We still have to take some more material out, but we are getting there. Once you get very close to finishing it, please check more often to see if it fits. I prefer to make it fit more snugly because it's almost perfect. It's actually perfect. Once I get it up, the resin up here, it's gonna be actually more than perfect. Yep. Let's glue everything together And let's get us a brand new handle for this beautiful rod that served me well over the years. I've caught tons of fish with it. Now we're gonna mix 2 equal parts of resin, of epoxy, hardener and resin. I use Flex Coat Rod Builders epoxy glue. You will find this online. This is a big batch, but you can find them in 4 ounces, maybe even 2 ounces if you need to. I usually mix about 3 to 4 milliliters each, but please use graded syringes so you get the best result possible. Mix thoroughly as possible. Glue everything together. Almost as is. This time this fits perfectly. Sometimes you have to ream out a little bit the inside because it's probably about 14.8 millimeter ID, so it depends. In this case it fits perfectly. Always rotate when you go down with the grip. Now, because we have marked this with the tape, you can real easily remove the excess glue. Because I have a lot of stuff here in the workshop, I can use a piece of EVA. I cut it in the middle just to be able to... I will actually center the winding check if it's not a perfect fit, and then just secure it with the EVA. Now for the real seat, put enough epoxy on the rest, on the entire length of carbon we have left. I usually put some glue in this area as well. Don't be afraid to smudge it in here, because you can easily clean up the excess glue. Okay. Rotate, and with a rag and denatured alcohol, clean up the excess epoxy, the excess glue. It's gonna look just perfect. As you've seen, this is as is. So I haven't done anything to the grips I took out from the store. So this is as is, off the shelf. You just have to glue the pieces together. It's as easy as that. This was the exact intent. I wanted for anyone to be able to use this stuff as easily as possible. So you don't need a latte, as I have behind me. You really don't need any exceptional equipment to be able to build such a nice, and you will see, perfect handle. Set it aside, and now all we have left is to glue this together. I usually place the trim ring first. I add some glue and go down to the trim ring. Make sure you don't put too much glue on the top side, so it doesn't go inside where you have the screw. And we will do the same on the inside of the cork, just enough to smudge the inside of this cork. Now, as simple as that, put your finger inside so it doesn't rotate. And now, while rotating, you push down the cork. You hold it together like this, denatured alcohol, a rag, and start cleaning. Wipe it off as well as you can. I try to wipe it off to perfection. As you can see, we have exceptional cork for these parts. So these are all the holes you will get. You won't get any extra holes once you clean this back at home. What I usually do before leaving this to sit for about 40 minutes, I secure it with tape, so it's gonna be as snug as possible. Now let it sit for 40 minutes, while you can enjoy a cold beer exactly as I'll do for the next 40 minutes. I'll enjoy a cold beer. I thought it was going to take more than this. I'm actually just about 40 minutes into the build, and you see I already have the handle built. Strip the rod, and now I just have to wait to glue and piece everything together. See you later. Everything looks perfectly fine. I'll remove the holder. I would still like to wipe this part because it still has some glue I'd like to remove, but everything is glued up and ready to go. Looks quite perfect. My fingers are as they are, but everything else is quite perfect. quite perfect. Perfect. As you can see, this is as far as I have to reach with the carbon, the monocoque. Snug, snug, snug. Go further up with it. Okay, this is quite nice actually. Woo, looks very good, promising. Now we make the arbors with tape. I usually have a wider tape that I cut in very narrow strips. I don't know if you can see, but the actual carbon tubing goes up to almost here. Therefore, I have to go a little bit over that part. I measured it out, and this is about where I should stop with the real seat. 3 more arbors, probably more than 3. You always check to see how it fits. Okay, almost perfect. I have to remove a little bit. 2 more and we are ready to rumble. I'm trying to show you exactly how this will look like once it's ready and it will have a real seat on it. So this is exactly how it will look like. And the nice thing is that the front grip fits quite snug and I have nothing else left to do. Only to glue it to my final rod, and that's exactly what I'll do right now. Pull the grip, the front grip, up the blank so I don't accidentally pour epoxy on it. Okay, this is quite good. I will try to keep it in place. And now let's mix some glue. Make sure to entrap the ends of the arbors you've made. Entrap them in epoxy, so they are perfectly isolated from the elements. And now for the final act. Please make sure to rearrange everything with the guides you already have on the rod. In order to realign the guides with the actual new handle you are building, please make sure you have equal light from both sides, because if you have more light from one side than from the other, you won't actually be able to realign the rod perfectly. Please make sure you have equal light on both sides of the rod when you try to realign the guides with the new handle we've built. This is the butt cap. This is like 1, 2, 3-piece butt cap. You just have to use super glue. I use Yoo-hoo! So in order to glue all these 3 pieces together, I usually use acrylic glue. In this case it's Uhu. Maybe you have Gorilla or something else in your region, I don't know. And I just try to put it all together. I squeeze it hard so I know it's in the perfect place. And just pour super glue inside so it seeps in the seams. Maybe you can see it like this. Okay. And on the sides, pour a few larger drops on the side, so we make sure it gets in all the cracks. Squeeze tight so the super glue doesn't go outside the butt cap, because if it goes outside you will have a ruined butt cap. So squeeze everything tight. Let it sit for 40 minutes until the resin hardens on the new handle on the old rod. In my case, I don't actually have to balance out this rod because it's actually perfectly balanced. But these butt caps are specifically created so you can balance your rod exactly how you want it. Meaning, you have a 6mm ID in the butt cap. So if you do like, I don't know, you use a drill bit, 6mm drill bit, and drill in wood, and you pour like lead in it, you see, you can fit it inside perfectly, glue it inside, butt cap, balance, perfect. I'm usually quite impatient in this type of situations. I could have prepared the butt cap in advance, but I didn't. Try to put resin on both sides, both inside the monocoque and the butt cap. You have to do this because otherwise it will slip right out. Please secure the butt cap with some tape if you want a perfect result. I will actually wipe it 30 minutes later. In the meanwhile, I'll relax. Let's see the final result. You will be amazed how simple it is and how beautiful it looks and how practical it is. I think this is the simplest option I could have chosen for today, but I think it's also the most beautiful. The butt cap has some excess glue, therefore denaturated alcohol, wipe, 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 wipe. So if you have a broken handle, if you have a handle you don't like, if it's an old handle or anything like that, this is the simplest way to fix it in a couple of steps. And I think it couldn't have turned out much better than this. Let me know what you think. I will leave everything in the description down below. You will find a lot more handles like this, really easy to use, really easy to make for both spinning and casting rods, mainly for freshwater, but you will also find options for saltwater fishing. Andrei Sava here, and I'll be back with a new handle very soon to teach you some more stuff and show you how easy it is to do something like this. See you in the next one.